Today we need to talk about CJ Stroud, who has been named the starting quarterback at Ohio State, and what that means, and all that's coming up after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You gotta help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, Ryan Day held a special news press conference today, which sounds redundant, RJ, to announce that CJ Stroud will be the Buckeyes starting quarterback for their game against Minnesota on September 2nd. I don't think he's going to give this job up, though. It needs to be said, Jack Miller pushed him, all according to all the folks that say that they watch practice and want to tell us that Jack Miller pushed him. I understand if he did. We all also more or less came to some sort of consensus that we thought CJ Stroud would be the starting quarterback. But Kyle McCord is also there, a 5-star coming out of Philly who's really outstanding and has a kinship with his former St. Joe's teammate there in Marvin Harrison Jr. And then, of course, Quinn Ewers reclassified so that he could join the Buckeyes this season. That means that Ohio State has 4 blue-chip quarterbacks on the depth chart, and the 2 at the top were the 4-stars, and the 2 at the bottom are the 5-stars. If nothing else, this just speaks volumes about just what's in the cupboard for Ryan Day. And I want to address the outlier here because I think it's going to grow a little bit more now that CJ has been named the starter, about how does Ryan Day keep all of those quarterbacks on campus for the duration of their Buckeye careers. It probably won't happen because that's not the kind of college football that we live in today. Somebody's probably going to hit the portal between now and 2022. It's just the way that it goes. That's the way the game is played, but that's also why you continue to recruit. It's not just that you recruit the guy that you sign. You're recruiting the guy that is playing for you every day because they can go into the portal anytime they want, and they can use this 4-game redshirt rule to their benefit, and I think that's great. But for Stroud, this is yet another outstanding chapter in what his journey has been. This is a guy who started out at Rancho Cucamonga, which I love because next Friday, all of y'all that know, all of y'all that don't know nothing about Uncle Elroy. And I'm your Uncle Elroy. And I can't even tell those jokes right now because I'm laughing. But my man CJ Stroud was also an outstanding point guard for his basketball team, came up as a basketball player, and was told over and over again, hey, football's your future, dog. Like, you're all right as a point guard, but you could be elite as a quarterback. And he began to build on that. He even made that his goal as a sophomore in high school and was presented with percentages by his math teacher. And he still said, bet, I'm going to do it. But it wasn't coming fast for him. And it wasn't coming fast for him because he didn't go to a bunch of camps as a sophomore, right? Or even until his junior year. This is a guy that was ranked 860th in the 2020 class in February 2019, ahead of, his junior year. And he hits the camp circuit, starting with the opening regionals, and he ends up at Oakland and earns an invitation to Elite 11 finals there. He is the last dude that they invited to the Elite 11 finals in Frisco at the Star where the Dallas Cowboys practice. And when he showed up, he showed out, all right? Like, Trent Dilfer handed him the trophy after his team won the 7-on-7 championship, but also after he put up the first ever perfect score in Elite 11 finals history in the Pro Days competition. And as the throws got more difficult to make, that man kept stepping up to the challenge. As more men started to form around him and watch this outstanding display, he leaned into the pressure and he kept dropping dimes. There have been lots of comps for CJ Stroud since then, Justin Fields being one of them, and you could see why with his throwing motion, his mechanics, his ability to move. Another has been Teddy Bridgewater because he can absolutely throw a football over them mountains. But what I find more interesting about this is the smooth transition that he has had from 860th in the country to winning Elite 11 MVP to being recruited and signed by Ohio State after jumping to like number 42 in the country in August of 2020. To sitting behind Justin Fields and knowing you're looking at Jack Miller and neither one of you got to throw a pass in 2020, and you have to demonstrate during spring ball and during preseason camp that you are the guy to lead the Ohio State Buckeyes in a year in which they expect to contend for a national championship. I have made this comparison, right? This metaphor that Ryan Day has put together a Formula One race car, right? Team Mercedes. You have outstanding wide receivers, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson. And then behind them, you have the number one wide receiver in the 2021 class and the number one wide receiver in the 2020 class. And neither one of those dudes might be the third best wide receiver on that team because Jackson Smith and Jigba is there along with Marvin Harrison Jr. You're just that deep at wide receiver. At tailback, it's not just that you have Master Teague, right? It's not just that you have Mayan Meatball Williams, who has been getting lots of buzz at camp, I need to say. It's that you got Travion Henderson and Evan Pryor behind him. And I think that Travion Henderson is somewhere between Christian McCaffrey, Najee Harris, right? And Travis Etienne for his ability with the football in his hands. That man is a walking house call, not a walking first down, a walking house call. And then you have an outstanding offensive line in front of you. You just got to pick the right driver, and I think that they did in CJ Stroud to get that offense going and get them averaging 45, 50 a game with a defense that I think is going to be retooled into the kind that we're used to seeing when Jeff Hafley was the coordinator, because Kerry Combs is coming in and not just his first year, but his first year is during a plague year. So giving up 495 to Indiana ain't how you want to go out, right? Getting run up on by Alabama ain't how you want to end the season. I'm sure that they are trying to fix that back end because it felt like that was what they needed. But they were also tremendously experienced on the linebacking core, and they lost all of those guys. So you're going to ask guys like Taraji Mitchell to step up. But defensive line, you got retooled and you got better, right? JT Tuimoloau and Jack Sawyer were the number one and number two defensive linemen in the 2021 class. They're both bookends for you, along with guys like Zach Sachs Harrison. You expect Jeremy Ruckert to step up at the tight end spot. This is going to be a fun Ohio State team to watch. I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like for CJ Stroud against Minnesota, because I don't think that Minnesota is an easy win there. It's not Florida Atlantic, right? That's not what that is. That is an outstanding offensive football team with, I think, the best returning tailback in the conference in Mo Ibrahim, right? Mo was outstanding in 2020 and really put that team on his back as Rashad Bateman was in and out. I think you see a comeback year from Tanner Morgan as they try to fold those wide receivers in and get some play out of them, and then you're going to get better defensively. You added some outstanding pieces. I think it's going to be a really great game, and on a Thursday night for them to kick off, what a game for us to view. I know that Joel Klatt, Gus Johnson, Jenny Taft, they're going to be on the call for that game. I'm so excited for it. I can't wait to watch what CJ looks like. This is outstanding news if you're a Buckeye fan, and I think this is outstanding news for the sport of football as we're going to see the rise of a new star in the sport. All right, that's it for me. Doses.